Ever feel like your body's tired, but your soul's the one that's exhausted? You get your 8 hours, burn some sage, maybe even do a little yoga. But inside, it still feels like something's dragging you down. Here's the truth most people miss. There are 4 thrones inside you: your body, ego, spirit, and soul. And most of us are living with them totally out of sync. But in this video, you're gonna finally understand how they work, how to get them back in balance, and how to stop letting your ego or your overthinking run the whole show. By the end, you'll know how to reconnect with your body in a sacred, grounded way and feel more like you than you have in a long time. Let's start with throne number 1, the body. You're a soul from the higher realms, floating all peaceful, all-knowing, and then boom! You're dropped into a body that suddenly needs sleep, snacks, sweaters, and stretches. Your knees crack now. Your back pops like bubble wrap when you move. You cry during commercials and you crave chips at 2 a.m. Why? Because your soul signed up for the human experience. And guess what? The body is how you get to have it. The body is the field where karma grows. That's right, karma doesn't float around in the clouds. It lives in your body. Every ache, every craving, every physical they're not punishments. They're invitations, clues, messages. Your body is like a spiritual text written in sweat, stretch marks, and sometimes indigestion. This isn't a jail sentence. It's a sacred deal. Your body said, "Okay, soul, come on in. I'll carry you through all your lessons, but I'm gonna need snacks, naps, and occasional neck massages in return." But here's the tricky part. The body is amazing, but it wasn't designed to lead. It's like the engine of a car, powerful, reliable, but you wouldn't let the engine drive the car, would you? Nope, that's how accidents happen. That's how we end up binge-watching reality TV and wondering why our life feels so stuck. So what happens if the body takes the wheel? You live on autopilot, reacting to every itch, impulse, and cookie within reach. You're stuck in survival mode. Eat, scroll, repeat. And here's the spiritual danger. If the body runs the show, your soul can't get a word in. It's like trying to whisper wisdom at a rock concert. But what if your body isn't the problem? It's the key. The body holds your history. It remembers things your mind forgot. That knot in your shoulder might be an old heartbreak still camped out. That tension in your jaw, maybe it's years of silenced truths trying to break free. Your body is like your soul's journal, but written in tension, tears, and tenderness. So how do we work with the body, not against it? Start by listening, not with judgment, not with guilt, but with curiosity. Ask your body, what are you trying to tell me? You'd be surprised what answers show up. I'm not lazy, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not craving sugar, I'm craving softness. I'm not broken, I'm carrying something no one else could see. The body needs love, not obedience. We live in a world that tells us to fix our bodies, make it smaller, tighter, younger, shinier. But the spiritual path says, don't fix it, befriend it. Your body is the reason your soul gets to hug someone, laugh so hard you snort, cry so deeply you feel it in your chest, and dance so wildly you forget the world. But here's the catch. The body's default setting is habit. It's like a playlist stuck on repeat. It'll keep choosing the same patterns unless you consciously change the tune. So don't blame your body for falling into loops. That's just what it does when it's not being guided by your higher thrones. Your body is not the boss, but it's a vital team player. It's here for your growth, not your punishment. It's not wrong, lazy, or bad. It's overloaded and waiting for you to listen. And the moment you stop seeing your body as an obstacle and start treating it as a sacred ally, you unlock the first gate of real transformation. The body doesn't need to be tamed, needs to be heard. And once it's heard, it will soften, it will open, and it will carry you to places your mind never imagined. So bow to the body not in shame, but in sacred partnership. It's been carrying your soul through every storm, and it's still standing. That's power, that's grace, that's throne 1. But the body doesn't walk this journey alone. Right beside it is a voice, not the divine kind, the dramatic one, the one narrating your life like it's a soap opera, even when you're just eating cereal. Yep, that's the ego, and it's time we talk about it. Have you ever had a full-blown argument in your head with someone who's not even there? Yeah, that's the ego at work. Crafting dialogue, assigning blame, winning imaginary court cases, like it's on a Netflix legal drama. But here's the twist no one tells you. The ego isn't your enemy. It's your translator, your editor. Sometimes, your overprotective roommate who means well but makes everything awkward. The ego isn't bad. It's just scared and really chatty. Let's break the myth right here, right now. You do not need to kill your ego. You just need to teach it how to chill. Spiritual influencers be like, transcend the ego, destroy the ego, erase the ego. Girl, what? You can't destroy the part of your mind that stops you from licking a hot stove. So what is the ego, really? The ego is your sense of self. It's the part that says, I'm me, and that's you. It helps you remember your name, pay your bills, and not tell your boss how you really feel. Think of the ego like your phone's operating system. You need it to run your apps, aka your life. But if it starts auto-correcting your soul messages, that's where things go sideways. The ego builds a story, but it's just that, a story. From the moment you're born, your ego starts collecting data. What gets you love, what makes people angry, what's safe and what's scary, how much of your weirdness the world will tolerate. Then it builds a personality around it. It's like a little screenwriter in your brain, typing up scripts for your life. I'm not good enough. I must be successful to be loved. I can't cry. Crying is weak. This shirt will hide my belly and my childhood trauma. You get the idea. The problem isn't the ego, it's when the ego thinks it's the CEO. The ego's job is to help you function as a human. But the moment it tries to take over your spiritual evolution, we've got a problem. It starts doing the soul's job with a Wi-Fi signal from 2003. It says things like, follow your purpose, but only if people like it. Be authentic, as long as it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. Speak your truth, just edit out the scary parts. The ego will use spiritual language to justify emotional avoidance. Oof. You ever met someone who talks like a monk but acts like a mean girl from high school? Yeah, that's the ego with a yoga mat. It's not real spiritual growth, it's spiritual performance. And it feels like this. You're saying all the right words, but your soul feels tight, defensive, and low-key exhausted. So how do you know if your ego is running the show? Here are the signs. You constantly need to explain yourself. No, I didn't mean it like that, every 2 minutes. You feel uncomfortable in silence. Like, must fill the void with something, anything. You feel the need to be good all the time, which is just code for afraid of being real. And this one's subtle but real. You resent mystery. Like if you can't label it, define it, or control it, you start spiraling. That's ego panic, because the ego fears what it can't dominate. The ego isn't afraid of truth, it's afraid of losing control. The ego wants clarity, it wants safety. It wants you to stay in your bubble where everything is predictable. But the spirit, the soul, they're not interested in playing safe. And when the higher thrones speak, the ego gets nervous. It's like, wait, who's in charge here? What do we do with this loud little throne? You don't shut it down. You don't shame it. You retrain it. Like a dog that barks too much but just wants to protect you, you teach it. You are not the king. You are the translator. You are not here to lead. You are here to serve. And when you do that, something magical happens. The ego becomes a bridge, not a block. When humbled and aligned, the ego becomes the perfect translator between spirit and body. It can take the wild downloads from the spirit and make them human-friendly. It can hold space for your boundaries without building walls. It can defend your worth without seeking validation. That's a trained ego. That's a spiritual companion. That's throne number 2 in harmony. You don't need to lose your ego. You just need to teach it how to bow. Let it stop pretending to be your identity. Let it stop picking fights with your truth. Let it stop being the narrator of your life's fear-based sitcom. And instead, let it become your inner hype man, your humble advisor, your faithful scribe. Because when the ego stops being scared, it starts being sacred. But once you've calmed the ego down, taught it not to freak out every time life gets messy, something else stirs inside you. Something louder than logic, stronger than fear, hotter than any green smoothie, or self-help book. It's not here to protect you. It's here to wake you up. Let's talk about that fire. The spirit. Have you ever felt this sudden burst of energy like, I need to quit my job, move to Bali, start a mango farm, and write poetry under waterfalls? Yup, that's your spirit talking. And no, you're not crazy, you're alive. Because your spirit is that wild inner yes. It's the sacred spark that doesn't care about your 5-year plan, your bank account, or your aunt's opinion. It's here to move you, burn you, free you. The spirit is not here to keep you comfortable. It's here to make you grow. Where the ego wants control and the body wants snacks, the spirit wants elevation, expansion, evolution. It's the part of you that refuses to stay stuck. That voice that says, leave the toxic job. Call that person back. Try the thing that scares you. And when you ignore it, it doesn't get quieter, it gets louder. But wait. What even is the spirit? Okay, so here's the breakdown. The body gives you form. The ego gives you identity. The spirit gives you motion. Think of it like this. The spirit is the divine flame that entered your chest when you were born, and it'll exit when you die. Everything in between, that's your chance to follow the fire. The spirit doesn't care about your past, only your becoming. Unlike the soul, which remembers your past lives, contracts, and karmic lessons, the spirit's like, let's go, babe. It's fast, it's impulsive, it wants transformation now. So if you've ever felt like jumping into something wild, quitting something safe, or randomly feeling like, I'm meant for more, yeah, that's not restlessness, that's your spirit shaking the bars of your comfort cage. The spirit speaks in bursts. If you wait too long, you might miss it. The spirit doesn't give long speeches. It doesn't explain itself. It sends you a vision, a nudge, a tingle in your chest at 2 a.m., a whisper that feels like thunder in your gut. And if you're waiting for it to make logical sense, good luck. The spirit doesn't do spreadsheets. So how do we follow the spirit without getting burned? Because let's be real, fire without guidance can destroy. Passion without wisdom turns to chaos. You ever see someone jump into 10 projects and finish none? Or constantly reinvent themselves every Tuesday? That's the spirit, without the soul to ground it. The spirit is pure power, but it needs a map. The soul is the map. It's slow, timeless, strategic. It says, I know why you came here. The ego is the translator. It says, let me help you not scare everyone when you say wild things at dinner. But the spirit's already running. It says, let's go. We'll figure it out on the way. That's why spiritual maturity is about alignment. Let the soul plan the route. Let the ego explain the directions. Let the spirit drive the car. But what happens when the spirit is ignored too long? Simple. You go numb. You lose your spark. You wake up thinking, why does life feel gray? You're not lazy. You're not broken. You've just silenced your fire. And the longer you do it, the more that fire becomes depression, frustration, or rage without a name. But here's the good news. Your fire never dies, even if it's buried. Even if it's flickering like a candle in the wind. It's still there, waiting for you. And the moment you say, I'm ready, I'm listening, let's go, boom, your spirit rises again. Let's break it down real simple. The spirit is intuition on steroids. It's the feeling of this is right, even if you don't know why. It's not reckless, it's radically honest. When you follow it with love, timing, and wisdom, you stop just surviving and start soaring. The spirit doesn't ask for permission, it asks for alignment. So don't try to cage it, don't overanalyze it, don't wrap it in polite excuses. Let it speak, let it burn, and most importantly, let it lead. But don't forget to pack the map. After the wild winds of the spirit comes the breath you didn't know you were holding. This isn't another voice. It's the one that's always been there, beneath the noise. Not guiding you forward, but guiding you home. Let's go there next. The soul, the quiet that remembers everything. You ever walk into a place you've never been and feel like you've already lived there? Or meet someone new and feel like you've known them for lifetimes? That's not déjà vu. That's your soul whispering, we've been here before. It's the part of you that never forgets, even when your mind does, even when your ego denies it, even when your spirit's too busy chasing butterflies. The soul is not loud. That's why so many people miss it. Unlike the ego and the spirit, the soul doesn't chase attention. It waits. And when you slow down enough to feel it, you realize something. You've always known who you really are. You just forgot. So what exactly is the soul? It's not your thoughts, it's not your memories, it's not even your feelings. It's the original you before the world told you who to be, the part that existed before you were born, and the part that'll keep going long after this body is dust and glitter. It's not made of brain cells or chakras or opinions. It's made of eternal memory, divine intelligence, and a love so deep it doesn't need to prove itself. The soul doesn't panic, it just waits. It doesn't rush, it doesn't explain, it doesn't say, "I told you so," even though it totally could. It just watches, waits, whispers. And when you finally get quiet enough to listen, you'll hear it, in the space between your thoughts, in the stillness between your breaths, in the truth that hits your chest like, "Oh, that's who I really am." Your soul isn't just old, it's original. Some souls are not just old souls, they're primordial. They've carried divine frequencies for thousands of lifetimes. They didn't just come here to learn, they came here to anchor. These are the people who feel heavy and light at the same time, who carry grief that isn't theirs, who've been wise since kindergarten and tired since middle school. If that sounds like you, you're not broken, you're ancient, and Earth feels heavy for people who remember the stars. But here's where it gets tricky. Your soul doesn't shout. So guess what happens? The ego hijacks its voice. Yup, it puts on a little spiritual costume and says, "This is your purpose. This is divine truth." Meanwhile, it's just playing dress up and reinforcing its favorite storylines. Safety, control, validation, recognition. The soul says, "Go deeper." The ego says, "Make it look deep on Instagram." Big difference. How to tell the difference? Soul equals expansive, still, unexplainably clear. Ego equals urgent, defensive, overly certain. If it feels tight, anxious, or like you're proving something, that's probably your ego, pretending to be your soul. If it feels calm, quiet, and undeniable, that's the soul knocking. The soul doesn't compete. It waits for the ego to sit down. And when it does, when the ego finally stops clinging to certainty, when it finally says, "Okay, I don't know everything," the soul steps forward, not with noise, but with knowing. And that is the real beginning of awakening. But wait, what about the spirit and soul clash? This one's spicy. The spirit says, "Let's go." The soul says, "Not yet." The spirit is all gas. The soul is the brakes. And sometimes that causes spiritual whiplash. You feel fired up one minute, paralyzed the next. Inspired Monday, crying Tuesday. Why? Because the spirit burns fast, but the soul moves by divine timing. Here's the formula that actually works. Let your soul choose the destination. Let your spirit start the fire. Let your ego pack the bag and read the signs. Let your body carry you there. And boom. And when all four thrones finally sit at the same table, you don't just find yourself, you remember yourself. And that's when life stops feeling like chaos and starts feeling like sacred choreography. The soul isn't here to impress anyone. It's here to embody truth. It doesn't care if people get it. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't even need to be understood. It just wants to be felt, to be lived, to be home. And when you let it take the throne, everything changes. Not in a loud way, in a soul way. And there you have it. Body, ego, spirit, and soul. 4 thrones, 1 you. Sometimes they argue, sometimes they align. But when they move in harmony, that's when life starts to feel like truth, not just survival. So take care of your body, educate your ego, listen to your spirit, and remember your soul. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about coming home to who you've always been. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay human. In the next video, we're diving into something that might just change your entire view of spirituality, how kindness isn't just cute. It's scientifically proven to deepen your connection to the divine. See you there.